Okay, today we're going to answer a question and discuss the research topic. Question on the table: will Apple crash? The company has faced significant issues from the past few years with this loss of AI and failure to innovate. But now, lots of things have happened to Apple, and we don't really know where it's going to go now. But this will be an analysis on the research and see for real and answer this finally. Will it crash? For years, Apple has been number one. They innovated and came up with products no one has ever dreamed of, and is basically the founder of the, personal computer industry. So, I want to know, have they really sat on this high? Now, back in the day when Apple was founded in 1976 on April 1st, I believe it was April 1st. Apple was founded in 1976. We had Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Now, Steve Jobs was an architect. He was, not in the figure sense. He was a man who sought perfection in all of his work and in everything he'd done. There was a saying he said that was like if he painted a fence, if he was building a fence on his property, he would treat both sides with the same quality, because that's the kind of man he was. So, fast forwarding to when Apple became bigger and stronger, he refused to suck up to the shareholders and never did any stock buybacks or dividends of any kind. Now, Jobs was forced out of the company in the 1980s. He had a different opinion with the CEO that he nominated. So, in that time, Jobs managed to found Next Computer and pioneered Pixar, which we all know today as a Disney affiliate who provides much beloved animated content. And he's the one who started all that. Later on, Steve Jobs ended up returning to Apple after the company had six months left of the money, and he fully turned it around. Steve Jobs was known for his perfection and quality in products. He demanded perfection. There was a story that Apple, where the first iPod prototype was presented to him, he said it was too bulky and needed to be made smaller. Now, they were design team was like, no, the smalls and gets. So he famously took that AirPod, dumped it in the fish tank, and watched the air bubbles come out and told them there's space. Now, this was the beginning. The iPod became one of the greatest products to ever sell, and it launched with the iTunes Store. This focus on products over, stocks and corporations is what made Apple such a powerful company, a household name, and was able to defeat major carriers or existing competition like IBM, and later, I believe, outperform Microsoft and Sony. So, with that note, Steve made sure everything works. He would never release something prematurely or early. He was very nervous about the iPhone. Moving on to more current events, Steve Jobs passed away on October 5th, 2011. And it became, this situation where now Tim Cook became the CEO. Now, Tim Cook was more about making money, and he would listen to shareholders and did a lot for that. Now, all the way, and now Apple has become complacent. They bought Siri with their money. Siri was an independent app and now was owned by Apple. And this was a major shift. Now, this was one of the first personal voice assistants in existence, which now became, and Apple sat on the technology, never developing it, watching what Google and Amazon did with Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa. So now, watching the current destruction, they released Apple Intelligence, which was not ready. And a matter of fact, in their keynote of WWDC 24, a lot of them found out they had lied. People who worked in Apple had never even heard of this stuff, and they're expected to produce it in a couple months. So immediately there's an issue. The iPhone used to be innovative and unique and made people want to upgrade every day, which then, as time went on, the iPhone became, the same thing over and over again. And competition like Samsung and Google really started to skyrocket. Now, essentially what's happened to the world is Apple now is dangerously behind with the AI race. Apple, in that keynote, faked and lied about their AI capabilities and faced many lawsuits. They've been ruled as monopolies and been forced to release part of their part of their income on many products, like the App Store and other things. So, Apple seems to be in a crisis. The first change to their phones was, the iPhone 17. The iPhone 17 brought a lot of things, redesigned for the first time in 6 years, I believe. Going back to the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 16, the 17 is the new redesign. Apple did redesign it and change the material, but ended up missing serious concepts that are very well known with, this kind of stuff. There was the incidents now with scratching off the anodized paint layers, which has resulted in frustration and just upset between customers. Something like this would never happen before, yet it happened now. They've been losing money and competition and market share in other regions of the world. So, knowing these facts is quite a problem to see what is happening with Apple. Now, there is something though that has happened in the few weeks leading up to this video that, Apple stock hit all-time highs because of iPhone 17 shares. They are now set to become the largest phone carrier in the world for the first time in 14 years. So, knowing all this seems positive. But also, many executives have now left the company for Meta or just simply retiring because they're retiring. And these aren't like small people. These are like chiefs and presidents of design and the AI and everything else. So originally, when I was doing the research on this, I was expecting more of a shakier company, and yet people managed to turn it around. But now there's a chance it could go the other way. And it really, I, do I think it's going to crash? Well, I honestly don't know. I mean, business is tricky, and things happen and go around. So, Apple crashing, yeah, I don't, I honestly don't know. Through all this research, I mean, in the few weeks, so many things have happened that have completely changed everything. Before it was looking like, oh, they're just cheap, they're not really spending a lot, and it's costing them, and they're just not making very smart decisions. But now it's like, oh, their sales are up, they made quite a lot of money, and their market share is growing. Now, but with the lack of the executives and just failure in management, it seems that maybe it can go back the other way. I think it's now one. I think it's just the best thing to do is just see what happens. Thank you for your time. Have a fantastic day.